Welcome. We're going to learn about singing bowls, how to use them for health, wellness on every level. Here we go. Let's start with the history. Singing bowls have been found that date back to 8 to 10 centuries BC. That's a long time ago. They are written about in legends and some of the emerging finds and interpretations from South America and all over the globe. There are ancient legends of healing, and we're going to learn about them, these forgotten secrets of how to heal with metal singing bowls. We'll get to that. Right now, what is a singing bowl? A singing bowl creates a vibration on the rim. It creates a standing wave, and it creates harmonics. So what's a harmonic? A harmonic is something of nature. It's a naturally occurring ripple effect of sound. If you think to being in a church and you hear somebody singing and then you're still, quickly after the sound, you can hear the singing sound go up in pitch, and it lasts for a little while. You're hearing the harmonics. The harmonics are mathematical in that they follow a distinctive pattern. There are 16 harmonics in the set. The first one, for example, the first harmonic is an octave of the root note. And that just means it's the same note, just higher, C. The second one is the fifth higher, or 5 notes on our piano or higher than the first harmonic, and so on. The pattern goes. Why are harmonics important? In our body, when you look at health from the viewpoint of sound or energy, so let's say there's many ways to look at health in the body, perhaps through biology, chemistry, maybe even physics, but also energy and sound. And this was perhaps one of the most potent tools in the ancient shaman and the ancient priestess or priests' toolboxes. Your digestion, for example, it's a chemical formula. You can get on PubMed or some site and take a look at the chemical formula. If you insert the frequencies, or the cycles per second, the numbers, if you will, of the cycles per second in each item in that chemical formula, you'll see that it follows a mathematical pattern of a harmonic chain. Sherry Edwards, whom I've written a book about her work called Secret Sounds, can hear little tiny sounds in the body and has spent her life simply observing how the body functions according to energy, wave correlation, wave cancellation, and harmonic chains. And simply by observing the body through sound, she's come up with many exciting breakthroughs. So, the harmonics, or a ripple effect of a sound, or a ripple effect of energy, which moves and vibrates at a certain rate, which would be a pitch or a frequency. So everything in your body then creates sound because it's energy, and everything in your body is going to have harmonics. Many of the vital body processes are harmonics, and when you're missing or have too much of a tone, it blocks the flow of energy. Think of dominoes standing up on the edge, and if you set one off, all the ones behind it go down as well. And likewise with something like digestion, if you have one of the tones, or if you're not combining food in the right process, saying the same thing a little bit differently, then the whole process or chain doesn't work. Your body absorbs sounds, And by listening to singing bowls, you get a rich sonic diet, nutrition from the harmonics, the sounds made with singing bowls. And the ringing and the singing that you hear is the root sound just loaded with harmonics. Harmonics are most nutritious, let's say when they're organic. Anytime somebody videos or does a CD with a bowl, you get a digital or an averaged harmonic. It's just the way that type of media works. Kind of like a pixelated camera. How many pixels there are and how close together creates the quality of the photograph that you see. However, if you've got the old-fashioned film, you get every frequency. So live singing bowls is getting non-GMO'd harmonics. It's getting the real thing. It's incredibly healthy for you. Okay. How do you choose your singing bowl? Well, there's many to choose from, and there's many considerations as well. In ancient times, everything was seen, although the words might have been different, but it was seen as energy. It's looking at the cycles per second. And other things that are the same frequency or that it resonates with, these correlations were known, and they would be used interchangeably to establish wholeness or health, or all the frequencies, or filling in all the blanks or holes or you're missing in your harmonic chains. Just think of trying to get a whole string of dominoes that's standing up on its end to kind of all fall down. If you're missing 3 or 4, the chain's broken. But health is having all the frequencies and everything works just perfect. When you listen, you ingest sound. The ancient people correlated metals to many different things. For example, sun energy was correlated to the metal gold and silver to the moon. And in a little bit, you can pause the video and there'll be a chart showing you the correlations between different metals and different things in your body. Also will be some correlations of desirable emotions or states of consciousness that you might like to have. And therefore, if you'd like something that gold gives you, then wouldn't it be nice to have a little gold singing bowl and ingest that healing energy? That's just what you need. So we're going to look at that chart, and you can pause and check it out. There are other methods for selecting a singing bowl. Many people correlate singing bowls to the chakras, a place in your subtle or small tiny energy in which you take in nutritious energy. Playing the singing bowl or listening to it opens up that pathway, which is very nutritious and healing. If you take the cycles per second of white light, you can count the cycles per second and then break it into rainbow colors. And then you can count the cycles per second of, let's say, red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, blue, and violet. Then, if you take the cycles per second, let's say, of violet down octaves, that's the same musical note. It's just C, C, just lower or higher. And you just half the cycles per second to get an octave. So if you take, let's say, violet light down octaves into the range of hearing, you'll find that it resonates with the musical note B. So when you enjoy a bowl, you can notice that they have different frequencies. For example, here's a B flat. Now, C sharp. Hope you can hear that. C sharp. Each of us have different matrices or patterns of sound. Said differently, we each have a different personality. So the frequency that I need is not necessarily the frequency that you need. Bowls are something very personal. Your body is conscious and it knows what it needs for healing. And you will love the tone of the bowl that's best for you at this time. As you change and grow and things happen and you learn and, I don't know, maybe get sick or better or something, sometimes your frequency patterns change. And perhaps then another bowl is what you need. Your body will release endorphins and you're going to love the sound of the bowl that's best for you. How beautiful, how simple. There are other ways of selecting bowls. As I said with the chakras, so you can take down colored light octaves and see what musical note, light, or color resonates with. So your root chakra, C, is also red. Orange, your sacral chakra, D. Yellow is E with your solar plexus. The heart chakra is F or green. Throat is G or blue. Third eye is A or indigo. Crown is B or violet. And people will place the bowl sometimes right on the chakra, like if you're laying down. They will sometimes step in a bowl to get, here's a great big one, to get frequencies running right up their legs and through their body, or even put it on their head, looking a little bit like Spaceman, and taking the frequencies down in through your body. So there are various ways that you can actually touch it or have it near you. Regarding chakras, they are one color on the front and the complementary color on the back. The front of the heart chakra is green, the back red. So your complementary colors, red, green, blue, orange, purple, yellow. So you would use a different bowl to open or work on a chakra in the front versus the back. So chakras is a very popular way of picking a bowl. Another way comes from the work of Sherry Edwards. Again, she has methods of looking at the frequencies in the body, and she then can correlate musical notes with things that you need in your body. In a little bit, we're going to have a note correlate chart right on the screen. You can pause the video and take a look at parts in your body that relate to a C bowl, for example. or a D bowl or an E bowl. Also on the chart will list personality and emotional issues that can be balanced and healed with a specific tone or note of a bowl. So here we go with the note correlate chart from Sherry Edwards. Here's another way that people pick bowls. In ancient times, as I said before, bowls were associated with metals. They were associated with corresponding planets. They were associated with astrological signs, foods you eat, parts of the body, emotional issues. And I'm going to read to you from a chart from antiquity, associating astrological signs or your birthday, and usually that means a certain personality, with a musical note or a bowl that you might select. But before I give you that chart, let me just say this. Most of us come in and have a primary lesson in life, and that is the lesson that's in tune with, resonates with our astrological energy, our favorite color, which is usually matching that as well, usually. Some of us, like myself, have come in with more than one life purpose. In my 40s, my whole life changed. It's just like somebody turned off the lights and the old life just didn't work anymore. My job changed, my friends changed, everything changed. I had a second lesson, and also my favorite colors and my favorite notes, they also changed as well. So I'm going to give you this ancient list associating your birthday or astrological sign with a musical note that you could use to select a bowl, but it's more like a guideline because some of us change. So I'm going to have to use my glasses. So here we go. Gemini, orange or D. Cancer, D sharp, orange yellow. Leo, E yellow. Virgo, F yellow green. Libra, F sharp, green. Scorpio, G green blue. Sagittarius, G sharp, blue. Capricorn, A blue violet. Aquarius, A sharp, violet. Pisces, B red violet. Aries, C red. Taurus, C sharp, orange red. Let's look at some bowls. Here's a cute little one. This little one is a machine-made bowl from India. You can play it either with the wood side of a stick, or you can play it with some type of felt. Usually, when you use the felt, the tone is softer and thicker. When you use the stick, the tone is clearer, more piercing. Personal preference. Here's another cute little bowl. This one's handmade from 7 metals. You see, it's not quite a perfect shape. This is a prayer bowl. A prayer bowl is one in which the monk or the maker thinks divine thoughts, feels beautiful feelings with each hammer in the metal. The idea is that your intentions, your feelings, whether you're cooking, cleaning someone's clothes, making someone's clothes, creating music, whatever you're feeling becomes part of the mix in a very subtle way. Therefore, when the bowls are made, it's called a prayer bowl, in that every gong or hammer hit to shape the metal is a beautiful blessing and a prayer, part of the actual energy of the bowl. In the bowl with 7 metals, this is also a 7-metal bowl, you can hear many tones. Hear them all? When you go to play a singing bowl, it has a whole 5 to 10 minute learning curve. Not too bad. You need to have your hand flat. As soon as you grip the bowl, you stop the tone. So that's one of the few things you need to know. And you can use, preference-wise, whatever kind of stick you like. It might vary per bowl. This one is another bowl from India. It's got a really pure tone. It's one clear harmonic. It's got a very creamy kind of a sound. As you look through antiquity, you will see that in general, and definitely with bowls, when I'm going in this direction, when I'm at the left, I'm going towards the outer part of the bowl, and on the right side of the bowl, I'm going towards me. In this manner, I am sending the frequencies out to other people. When I want to internalize the frequency more for my self-healing, I go the other way. So now as I go to the front of the bowl, I'm going to the left. Throughout nature, you'll see that forces going in spirals right and left are healing and balancing. Think of a river and how the water eddies and gets stuck behind rocks and flows this way and it flows that way. It's so fresh and vital. Contrast that with a stagnant pool in which there isn't the alternating directions. So reversing the direction which you spin on the rim of the bowl is an excellent thing to do. Here's another thing with the bowl. I don't know if you can see, but it has Sanskrit written on it. This one has Buddha inside with more Sanskrit and sacred geometry. Scientists have now been able to record very tiny frequencies and energies coming from 2D shapes and pictures. And that's what sacred geometry is all about. When you look at these sacred shapes, they're very healing, they're balancing. Many of them contain the frequencies of, let's say, white light, kind of like the whole enchilada, like an uplifting bath of frequencies and energies. So this having Sanskrit, which is an ancient language of light, more potent than today's language. The ancient Sanskrit and other ancient languages are actual representations of things. So the language, sounds, and shapes are interchangeable with the energy of what they're talking about. For example, let's say you put a drum and you put sand on it, and then you went underneath and you shouted Om forever and a day. Eventually, that sand is going to create the shape that the Hindus associate with Om. In that way, the symbol of Om, the sound of Om are interchangeable. So what's actually on the bowl subtly adds to the healing mix. Okay, we got some more bowls here that I wanted to show you. Here we go. Another 7-metal singing bowl from Tibet. Listen to the rich harmonics and how many tones are in it. The strongest one in this is the C sharp. Here's another one. I like to use these like this. It sounds more like a gong. And listen to all the different sounds. So it's getting 7 healings in one, with most of them audible, which means a pretty heavy dosage of them. Here's another one. Look at this one. When you go to get a bowl in Tibet, you will get them according to how much metal that's in them. And as you go from this size, which is quite big, just make it a couple inches bigger, and you get twice the metal. It's twice as heavy. So the bowls can just go up a little bit in size, but they take a lot more metal. Another thing about playing a bowl is that there are different angles of the bowl. When you play, you have your stick on the rim. That's how the harmonics are made. Now this bowl, notice it goes up and down. It's not too slanty. So when you play this one, there you go. I'm doing at a pretty small angle. This one is more angular on the top, so my angle in which I hit that rim is going to be more severe. Let me see there maybe. And see my wrist. I'm just moving the stick at the same speed, at the same angle, and fairly slow. When I bake cookies, which isn't that often, but when I do, I tend to do one cycle and then I pause and do another cycle. I've noted that many people try to do the bowls like that. They think they're doing all the same speed, but they're just being a little unconscious. It must be the exact same speed in a nice even movement, and it's on the same angle. Again, this kind of a bowl is going to have an angle like that because it's kind of straight. This one curves in more, so you just have to hit the rim. Same speed, same angle. Or you can use like a gong with this big one. And just hit it. So there you have it. There's a nice sample of singing bowls, how to use them, and their history.